video documentary of my testimony on what happened with Larry Lilly, Mr. Larry Lilly, my cat, my feline 11-year-old cat. He was a male, and he died this morning at 7:50 a.m. July 17th, 2021. Mr. Larry Lilly was left alone for 26 days against my will. I was hospitalized. I was brought by the police to the local hospital for 5 days. And despite my asking to come home to try to get Mr. Larry Lilly safe and brought to my dad's house, where my other feline, Biga Choo Choo, the female, was able to be captured because she was an indoor cat. Mr. Larry Lilly escaped out the basement where he has access to the outside. He is an indoor cat. He was unable to be caught by my father. Subsequently, Larry spent the next 26 days alone while I was locked against my will downstate for 20 more days after transport 500 miles to Grand Rapids Pine Rest Mental Health Christian Center, or Christian Mental Health Services, I guess, if you can call them Christians. I was given Haldol, and within 3 days I started shaking uncontrollably. They said they would not take me off the Haldol unless I agreed to having injections of Abilify, 400 milligrams once a month. Eventually, after my court hearing in hospital, I agreed. The reason I ended up in Pine Rest and in the hospital is very important. I had been on 3,000 milligrams of Depakote for several months, and the local community mental health here in Ontonagon, Michigan, took me from 3,000 milligrams of Depakote down to 750 milligrams of Depakote overnight. This should never be done to anyone. This causes psychosis. This is definitely why I spiraled into psychosis. 100%. Any psychiatrist would agree. 100%. That I spiraled into psychosis because I was dropped from 3,000 milligrams of Depakote to 750 milligrams of Depakote overnight. Therefore, when I got out, Larry Lilly was missing. I eventually contacted OCAP, which is the Ontonagon County Animal Protection Agency, and they said that my neighbor had called and said that she had seen Larry Lilly and had gotten him into her basement possibly. I had to wait another day until she got home. I left her a note and she didn't see it. I didn't have her number, but I finally found him. He was in her basement for a few days, but the majority of the time he had been left here alone. He was traumatized. He must have stopped eating and drinking water, and he ended up in intensive care. When I got him from my neighbors, he was in very bad shape. I brought him to the Deep Woods veterinary clinic as soon as I could possibly bring him, but it was too late. They kept him alive for about 4 or 5 days. I'm not really sure on the timeline because he passed away this morning, and I'm very distraught. I have been abused by the mental health system in Michigan. I run the Coalition to End Forced Psychiatric Drugging. I just got this shirt in the mail today, and I'm going to be doing a crusade for Larry Lilly. I am very aware that I am challenging the system. Coalition to End Forced Psychiatric Drugging was started 5 years ago by me when I first was put on an assisted outpatient treatment order, which is a court order by law to be forced to take psychiatric drugs that will take up to 25 years off of my life. There are alternate natural ways to heal from supposed mental illness, and I invite you to come and look at the Coalition to End Forced Psychiatric Drugging on Facebook. There is a lot of scientific information that the general public is very unaware of. I have suffered greatly, and many, many thousands upon thousands of others across this world are also suffering. If you can support us, please join the Consumers, Survivors, and Ex-Patients of Psychiatry movement. This movement has been going on for 2 centuries. And if you just like cats, do it for Mr. Larry Lilly. Rest in peace, my son.